Hey everybody, my name is Lorraine and I am from Chat and Craft with Lorraine Tierney, and I'm jumping on today because I want to show you how to make a couple of cards using some scraps. I'm just gonna get a couple of things set up here. I want to see if I can find myself on here live. Okay, there we are. That looks good. So we're going to make some cards that use scraps like this, just pieces you have hanging around. I love this pack of paper, and so I've been saving all these little pieces, and I don't want to throw them away. So this is a great card that you can make with it, a great layout. So that's one. And then I will do a second card with a little bit different layout that uses a little bit bigger pieces of paper. So let me switch cameras so I can show you what we will be making. Okay, so this is what the card looks like. It's all small pieces. There's lots of sparkle and shine to it. It's really, really pretty. I hope you can see that. That's obviously a Christmas variation with Christmas paper. And then here's one in fall colors. So this gold that's in between is the gilded leafing that we will be using. So it's pretty fun. It's nice to see. Let me just see if I can turn on comments. Okay, great. Hi, Courtney. Nice to see you. Hi, Jan. So we're going to get started. So the first thing we need is just a piece of basic white, and this piece is 3 3/4 by 5, and we're going to use an adhesive sheet to make this card. So these adhesive sheets come in a big pack like that, and you cut it to the size you want, and there's little sections back here so you can take off. That's really not, that is not the way I want to do it. Well, we're going to do it. This is where I can't talk and do two things at one time. So let me put that back on there. There you go. All right, we are going to take the other side of this off. I want to peel the whole piece off. Well, it's not going to work. Here we go. We're going to put down some little pieces at a time and get this to line right up with the edge. Okay, there's one. Here's the second. And I'm on my little mat because it won't stick to this, and I won't get sticky stuff on my grid paper and then have everything else I do stick to it. Okay, so now I have those adhesive sheets on my paper, and I'm going to lift up this the release paper, which was the other part of what I was trying to get off earlier. Let's see if I can start it with my scissors. Here we go. And it's leaving an adhesive down on my cardstock. And because I played with that corner a little bit and tried to put it back down, I might be missing a little bit of adhesive. If that happens to you, don't worry about it. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue in there, and that will work for us. Okay, so we have lots of adhesive on that paper, and I have my scraps here, and I'm just going to cut some random triangles, and I can make the triangles all different shapes and sizes, and you'll see I'm just making some that are more equilateral, some that are tall and skinny, like that, any shape you want. So I would go through and I would cut up quite a few of these. I just want a couple more of this jade one. Okay, and I've already cut some pieces over here so that I wouldn't have to do all that. And we're going to take these and we're just going to place them on this piece of paper, and I'm going to go right off the edge in most places, but I'm leaving some white in between, and that's because that's where that gold leafing will fill in for us. Okay, so you just go through and do the best you can, putting in different pieces, and you can always cut to fit if you need to, but you just keep going around. Oh, I don't want two of those next to each other. I'll do a few more, and then I have one of these that I finished so that I can show you. I like this dark paper in here too. And you don't have to overthink it too much. You just really put them in here and they're all going to blend together before you know it. And you can check out which side you want to use. Let's see. There. Sometimes I like to match up colors next to each other a little bit. Sometimes I like to make sure I'm varying the color. You really can do just about whatever you want. All right, so you would keep going until you get that all filled up, and once you do, it would look like this. Okay, so here it is, and I have pieces that are extending over the edges, so I'll just take my snips and keeping them right up against that piece of cardstock. I'm just gonna trim these off. And you'll notice that that already makes a difference when you look at it. It looks a lot better. It does take a little bit of patience to fill that in, but you can cut bigger triangles too, and I always say I'm going to try it with bigger triangles, but I never remember. I always cut little ones. Okay, so this is the fun part. This is my favorite part of the whole card. So this is the gilded leafing that we sell. If you haven't ever played with this stuff, it is amazing. It is paper thin and it feels like nothing in your hand. You can hardly feel it when you pick it up because it's so thin. So this is a jar of gilded leafing. I'm on my second jar, believe it or not, because I love this so much. So when you open up that jar, it's kind of packed in there at first, and you open it up and it grows, and I can't be bothered trying to put it back in the jar, so I just keep it in this with a cover on it. I'm going to take this card front and I'm just going to lay it right in here, and it's going to pick up a ton of this gold stuff, and I'm going to make sure it gets on all that adhesive. I don't want any white spaces showing in between my pieces of patterned paper. So I'm just rubbing it on there. Okay, and then a sponge going over the top will just gently remove the excess. And if you see any white spots, you can kind of direct a little more gold that way. There's a lot of static electricity on this, so some of it kind of jumps back up. And you keep going around, and it just really brings the gold out in that patterned paper. But like on the Christmas one, there was no gold in that patterned paper, and it still looked beautiful. So you don't have to do it just with your gold papers. Oh, I have it stuck to my fingers. Don't ever sneeze with this open. You will be so sorry, because it will not stay in one place. Okay. So there you go. Let me put the cover on that. So now you have this beautiful piece. I hope that you can see that in the light. It's really just so pretty. Oh, I still have gold stuff everywhere. And I'm seeing just some edges that have extra little bits of gold on them, so I just rub those off. And now we're going to put it on a piece of gold and then on our card base, but I never cover up a whole piece of gold like that. I'm looking for the punch that I'm going to use. Here it is. So we are going to punch a couple of these labels out of the middle because nobody will ever know. There you go. And now we'll just put this on top here. And it's a little bit thick and it's a little bit curly, so I'm going to use I'm going to use the seal to put this on. And if you use your silicone mat under this Stampin' Seal, it will roll a whole lot smoother for you, and you won't seem to have the trouble getting it started. Okay, so I'm just going to center that. There we go. And then I'm going to put this on the front here. So isn't that just, I love it. I love the way this looks. It's so pretty. It's a really pretty mosaic kind of look. It does take a little patience, but not too long. Once you start going, you'll just fill in all those little triangles. You can even do it with other shapes. But I'm one of those people that the first time I did it with triangles, so that's what I keep doing. I keep doing it with triangles. So I'm going to put a sentiment with the label, and I already stamped happy birthday, but I wanted to show you with this paper, especially the pieces that have a lot of white in them, when you're using them on a card and then you put the basic white on top for a sentiment, it's a slightly different color, and sometimes that bothers me. I don't like that. So what I did today was I stamped my happy birthday on the edge of this and then cut it out with a I think that's a Stitch So Sweetly rectangle, and I'll put it on there, and I like the way that matches better when I'm making a card like this, it seems to be more of the same color. It's just a little pet peeve of mine. All right, so I'm going to put this on here, and it fits really nicely layered on this punch. And now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. So you never want to let that gold foil go unused. Make sure you punch out some stuff, even if you don't need it on the current card, just punch it out and have it. So there you go. I could have put a little ribbon on that, but I wanted to keep it simple, and so I think that makes a stunning birthday card. So you can do that with any scraps. I tend to keep all of the scraps I use from the same set of papers, but you don't have to. You can mix and match as long as you like the colors together. There's no right or wrong. So that's the first card. Let me just clear a little bit of this stuff out of here, and I will show you the second card. Okay. Oh, this is my piece for the inside. Let me just do that right now, because if I don't, I'll go to send the card and I won't have a piece in the inside. Does your cutter leave a little ridge sometimes? I just take my bone folder and smooth that ridge out. There we go. Okay, so that card is all set. Here's the style of the second card. And this card uses strips of the patterned paper to just make a fun background. And this is one that you would make with these kinds of scraps that you save. I've been using a lot of this paper. This is Tidings of Christmas, and so I have a lot of thin rectangular scraps in here. So I'm going to take a lot of those out. I may not even have to do, whoops, something stuck together there. Let's see if I can get that off. Oh, I'm going to put that aside. I may not have to do too much cutting because it looks like I have a lot of strips here already. All right, so let me grab my trimmer. So for all these strips, we're going to go with, well, the pink one with this card, I did 3/4, and I would actually like more pieces of paper on there. So I think I'm going to go with a 1/2, and that's good because some of these are already a 1/2. And I'm going to let them be long. They won't all need to be long for our piece of paper, but I'll start with some long ones. That can't be the same measurement. There we go. Cut that. You could even do some that are a 1/2 and some that are 3/4. I may try that. See what I think of that. There's no right or wrong, and really the purpose of this is to use up those scraps. Clear some paper out because we save all of these, don't we? We save, save, save. Who else has a pile of scraps? Raise your hand. I like both sides of this paper. I never want to cover them up. It's fun to do those layouts that show both sides of a patterned paper too. I haven't done that in a long time. I may have to do that for some Christmas cards. Oh, I love that one. Okay, so I'm sure I have plenty of pieces of paper. I probably don't need those. I only have one red one. Oh, here's the pattern. I love this pattern too. I want one of these in there. Okay. So let me set that down. And for this one, we're going to start with a piece of white that is 3 by 4. And eventually we're going to mat it on a piece of cardstock that's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. But we're going to start with 3 by 4, and I'm going to put a whole lot of adhesive on this piece of cardstock. I'm basically just covering it. I could use the adhesive sheets if I wanted, but I thought I'd show you an alternative to that in case you do not have any of those in your stash. So I'm going to start with a long piece, and I'm just going to lay it right across the middle. Now I'm not going to be able to move these. Where they go, they're going, and they're staying because this adhesive, I'm not going to be able to pick them up. So the one thing I have to be careful of is that my piece of paper is long enough to go right off the edges. Because on this one, I'm not piecing those pieces. And if you want, you can give them a little bit of a rub with your phone folder. I love the colors of this paper. Courtney, I think you said you have a few scraps ready to use. Good for you. That means you're making some cards. Let's see, I want a little bit of, oh, I have 2 of those there. This one. And if you didn't have enough paper, you could always just cut these off and use these same little pieces on the end, like I'd like this one again. So I'm just gonna cut these, which is the one I wanted, this one. And I'll put that right there. See, it's bad when your scraps give you more scraps to use. That's when you know you're not making much progress. So what should we put next? I think I'll do this one. I'm just making sure I get it up nice and close. I like this dark one. Oh, I like this side of it too. I'll do that. And then we're going to put a teeny tiny little piece of red. I don't know if I have any adhesive right there. I'll just add a tiny dab of glue, and we'll give that a minute to dry. Okay. So now, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'll just burnish these so they fit nice and tight. And I'll start over here. Cut these off. I'm trying to get as close as I can to the edge of that white without cutting the white. And I think I need just a little dab of glue. You can always fix that stuff up if you didn't have enough adhesive. That's where the adhesive sheets do give you better coverage. Now I'm going to make a rule right here that there's no saving the scraps from my scrap card. These scraps are going to be called done. No scraps from the scraps. Okay. So there is that piece. I really love that. I think that comes out looking so great. They are kind of like the colors of a quilt or a quilt pattern. It's kind of fun, like matching a quilt pattern, and that's why I like to stick with all papers from the same pack, because I know those are going to go together. I don't need to worry about that too much. I know that that's going to work. And then I just have a card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. And I'm going to put this here. On this card, I did emboss with snowflakes a piece back there. I don't think I'm going to on this one. I think I'm just going to put this on like this. And you know what? I did think about a sentiment. Here is the same label punch. And then this is Merry and Bright, is from the stamp set that goes with this paper. It's called Tidings and Trimmings. There's the Merry and Bright. And this die is from the Tasteful Labels Dies. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. And I also cut a piece of ribbon. And I'm not, here it is, not seeing that. Here's the ribbon. And this Evergreen ribbon is really nice. It's kind of substantial. It's not see-through. So I put a piece of tear and tape on the back, and I'm going to use the tear and tape to adhere this to my card. So let's see if I can do that. I think I want to cut it a little bit shorter, which I probably should have done before I peeled that backing off. I may have to clean my scissors. Oh, and let's put this down. Okay. I'm out of order here. First we'll adhere this layer. And I'm going to use my grid paper to make sure that the card base is straight, and then hope that I can get this centered. Okay, now I'm going to put this over to one side down here, and that's stuck. It's not going anywhere. If I don't like it, oh, it's just too bad. Let's see if I can neaten that up just a bit. There we go. Give it a little haircut. That's what I need, a haircut. Okay. And we'll pop this up with some dimensionals. And that's a really quick and easy card. And I think it's really, really pretty with all that different color and the paper. So there you have it, Merry and Bright. And really quick, really easy. I need my white piece inside, but that's about it. And that's done. So we have 2 of those. with the strips. I think I like the mixture of the 1/2 inch and the 3/4 inch strips better than just the 3/4 inch strips. Let me know what you think, which one you like better. And then here are the cards with the little bit, the smaller scraps that you just cut into any shape you would like. I love this. Love this with the gilded leafing. That leafing is so much fun to play with. You can stick it on with the adhesive sheets, with all kinds of different things. It's really, really fun. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's hard to see the comments. I will go back and look at them. Let me come up here. If there's any comments or questions that I haven't answered, I will go back and answer those. I hope you liked these cards. I hope you'll give them a try. I do a free Zoom class every Tuesday night. The information's on this page on Monday about what to prepare, and the link is there on Tuesday, and you are all welcome to join that class and make a couple of cards with us. And we have a lot of fun. If you just want to watch and you don't want to create, that's fine. And if you'd like to be anonymous, don't turn on your camera, and that's a sign that I won't speak to you. But I'd love to have you join me. So thank you again for watching. If you would like this video and if you'd like to share it, that would also be great. If I can help you make cards at home, I'd love to do that too. My name is Lorraine, and this is Chat and Craft with Lorraine. Have a good night. Thanks.